Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At Enchain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Good afternoon, everybody. It looks like we are live at 5. Let me just check all the stats here. Let me get this opening image open as well. Just been touching up a few things. Oh, there we go. That should fit quite nicely on the page. Check it out. Beautiful, beautiful. Right, so yeah, just a quick one. Happy Valentine's Day, of course, for everybody. For all you lovers out there and wannabe lovers out there, getting romantic. Hope you've been sending your anonymous Valentine cards to your Valentine, which would be it's always a part of it's always exciting, just as exciting as doing my show. So for any newbies listening in, because there will be loads soon, millions of people going, what the hell just happened? The reason we broadcast on Twitch is because YouTube have already kindly taken down 2 of my channels. Then they were preventing me from editing my shows, and they were deleting episodes, and I was like, you know what, this is absolutely insane. So now we broadcast live on Twitch, upload the full episode, or upload the trailer onto YouTube, and then upload the full episode up onto Streamanity, where you can set your own fee according to how you judge the quality of your content. So let's crack on with the show. A new opener here as well, look at that. Bitcoin SV, genuine Bitcoin by Satoshi Nakamoto, created by Dr. Craig S. Wright. Shitcoiners ain't going to be happy with that, but there is nothing that they can do. Shout out to people in the house already. We've got Sav, Toshi, Richard Lee, Shelly Mack in there as well, and JPaps from Canada. Nice one. Shelly says, 12 hours without internet is bad. Hello everyone, welcome to Satoshi TV. A fun place to learn Bitcoin fundamentals. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat. Satoshi will answer towards the end of the show. We ding a dong and send each other BSV. BSV love, baby, is what it's all about. And talking about some BSV love, let's just get some shitcoin celebrities to do my dirty work for me and explain Bitcoin for us. So this first one still probably one of my favorites. This is Michael Saylor thinking, or having studied the white paper, being completely unaware of all the politics that have gone on behind the scenes, describing big block Bitcoin. Now, the big block Bitcoin is what's described in the white paper and how Satoshi describes scaling. He has no idea about the politics that has gone on and the, shall we say, the underhanded, dirty politics that has taken place. So take it away, Michael Saylor. Here we go. Rock and roll.
I like Bitcoin the way it is. In fact, I love Bitcoin the way it is.
So do we, Michael. So do we.
And the way it's currently constructed, it is possible to put all $250 trillion of monetary energy in big blocks of encrypted energy on the blockchain. Maybe the Bitcoin will be 1 million. You can probably calculate $10 million of Bitcoin or something. Big blocks, $100 million chunks on the blockchain. It'll store all the monetary energy in the world, and it should store it for the next 100 years without losing any of it. If Bitcoin's going to fail, it's not going to fail due to lack of functionality or lack of speed or lack of scalability. In my opinion, if Bitcoin is going to fail, it's going to fail because of it loses trust and security. We have to protect the network integrity at all costs.
Indeed we do, Michael. Indeed we do. What do you think all the shenanigans has been about? Why do you think there is such animosity between all these various different camps? It's to do with the integrity of the chain. So you went in and bought BTC, thinking that BTC follows the white paper. However, I'm going to let Peter McCormack explain to you in his own words what has happened since reading the white paper and it has been altered into a complete piece of shit. Take the floor, Peter McCormack.
Bitcoin is so different now from when Satoshi was here. It's a completely different project. It doesn't matter who Satoshi is anymore. Even if Satoshi came back, I don't think he would just be immediately welcomed as having this God-given right to decide what happens with Bitcoin. I think he would have to earn his right back into the project. Bitcoin is built based on consensus now.
Are you sure, Pete? Do you maybe want to explain that again, slightly clearer? Bitcoin it's a bit consensus now. And what exactly would that consensus be? And why wouldn't Satoshi be welcomed back into the project? Well, we are now going to let Samson Mow explain in his own words what consensus in BTC really means and why Satoshi probably wouldn't be welcome. Take the floor, Samson Mow.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. There's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah,
Blockstream
controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who does?
I'm sorry, go ahead. Who does? Let's have that, Samson. Who does?
Blockstream.
Oh! This is what I'm saying about shitcoiners with shit for brains. He has got no understanding of what he has just pretty much directly said there. Money with a central point of authority or control has no fundamental value whatsoever. And the way they took control of it is by implementing SegWit and breaking the chain of signatures that hold all the users and developers on the network to account so that no one could do anything that nobody else would know about. They completely control it, which is why Vitalik had to go to them and say, excuse me, Blockstream, can I build my shitcoin Ethereum hub on top of your blockchain? They said, no, you can't. He said, okay, I'll build my own. Michael Saylor has no clue. So anyway, cue the nervous laughter.
Oh,
All right.
I was looking at you when I said that.
Yeah, I'm a blind. I am a spy. I'm one of the spies. No. So this, it's an interesting. There's.
It certainly is interesting now that there's Honestly, when more people start listening to my show and hear that, unless they're a shitcoiner, I mean, shitcoiners are probably going to be tuning in because, shitcoiners, shit for brains, wouldn't really understand the fundamentals of what has just actually happened there and the significance of it. So, but any newbies coming in with, the little bit of inquisitiveness and intelligence that they can apply to that, they'll be like, hold on a minute, that's not right. They shouldn't be able to control this. Otherwise, I may as well just hand my money to a bank. They control it. Now Blockstream control it. What if I don't like what they do or choose to do with it? What if I don't like the fact that they've made my transaction take a week to confirm? What if I don't like the fact that they've increased the transaction fees to like $50 a transaction? What if I don't like the fact that somebody can now outbid me and replaced by fee because the blocks are so ridiculously tiny that I can't get my transaction on the chain? All those things, but that's why hodl. They don't want you to know how bad it is. They don't want you to know how badly they have effed it up. So badly, turned it into a piece of digital dog shit, which is why they no longer talk about a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, which it clearly states in the white paper that it is. In fact, we'll actually have a quick look at that image right now. Let me just find the white paper. So for all of us watching now, we can say, Bitcoin, is that a peer-to-peer electronic cash system? Is that what it's meant to be? Well, let's just bring it up in all its glory. I know I have it amongst all my my library, should we call it now, of Bitcoin images and stuff that I've collected over the years. I've got a nice one with the Bitcoin white paper with a yellow sort of golden background, but this one will do. Here we go, check it out. Oh, and what does that say? If I'm reading that correctly, that says Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Does it say a peer-to-peer piece of digital dog shit? No, it doesn't. Does it say peer-to-peer digital gold? No, it doesn't. It's a cash system. Cash being the most liquid form of money. And as JP Morgan said, back in the day, gold is money, everything else is credit. In other words, debt. Gold was an asset. Bitcoin is meant to be an asset. And in fact, the asset is data sovereignty for the first time ever. That is what it's backed by. So initially, fiat currency was meant to be backed by gold. But now you have Bitcoin, which is data sovereignty in the form of a digital coin, which is by far the most valuable and best form of money this world has ever had because our freedom depends on it. Sound a bit like Mel Gibson from Braveheart. But this is the kind of thing Mel Gibson would be fighting for back in the day, if he was Braveheart. What's his name? I can't remember Braveheart. I can't remember the story that Braveheart was based on now. Anyway, I have to brush up on my history. But yeah, there we go. A peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Undeniable, that is exactly what it says. So if cash is going to be money, it needs to be used as a medium of exchange. Now, as a medium of exchange, first of all, you need to prove or send the value. So in other words, the medium of exchange that you send is meant to represent the value of the good or service that you are swapping it for, exchanging it for. Now, there are two things you need. You need to first of all send the value, and then you need to prove that you've made the transaction. Now, there are another group of developers led by Roger Ver and his shitcoin shit for brain mates who don't have a clue what money really is. We're just like, yeah, you know what? We want to be able to smoke crack in our own home. We want to be able to engage in human trafficking, child abuse, drug dealing, gun running, all that shit. And we don't want anybody to trace that transaction. So we are going to delete it. We're going to fuse it with loads of other coins and make them engage in illegal activity with the transaction, which is absolutely insane. So basically it means global trade and international commerce will not touch it with a barge pole, which means you are creating a closed market. And if it's a closed market, it just simply means that you are preventing other parties from using it, in which case another alternative has to be found, one that everybody can use, including drug dealers if they are stupid enough to actually use it. But it's not stopping them. However, this is categorically stopping international trade and global commerce from ever using it, because it is not regulatory compliant and it is deleting the transaction history. This is how stupid it is, but listen to how excited Roger Ver gets about explaining how utterly stupid and worthless and what a piece of dog shit Bcrash is. Take the floor, Roger, you absolute cretin.
I have a question here from Satoshi, defender of Bitcoin. He said, if a cryptocurrency is anonymous, like BCH, I don't think BCH is anonymous, but maybe there is something.
Check out cashfusion.com and you combine that with reusable payment codes and you get Bitcoin Cash in the same sort of ballpark of privacy as Monero. It's really awesome. So you can check out Cashfusion. And I always get it wrong. I think it's .com, but it might be .org. So you can check both. Cashfusion.com.
Okay, awesome. So BCH, maybe using Cash Fusion and XMR, if they're anonymous, how can a business get legal recourse against a supplier if the supplier defaults and no proof on the transaction exists because anon?
Yeah, if you want your cryptocurrency to be perfectly legal for everything all the time.
Which I do. And global trade and international commerce does as well, so that we have legal recourse, so that we can get the law involved to get our money back if somebody tries to run off with it. Yes, we need legal recourse. Yes, it needs to be regulatory compliant. Yes, it needs to be fully legal, you fool.
Just go use your Visa card. Just go use your PayPal.
Oh my God.
Right? What do you need a cryptocurrency for?
What do we need a cryptocurrency for? We need a currency, Roger, that is not controlled by the central banks or governments. Because if we are using a money that is controlled by central banks and governments, they have us over a barrel. If human beings can't trade, and if they take the ability to trade away from us by restricting money or inflating that money, which drives businesses into the ground, because it means that businesses are having to deal with constantly increasing costs all the time, as the value of the money goes down, it means that their rental cost of the premises and other things are going to go up. Unless they can keep up with the rate of inflation by increasing their own prices or reducing their costs accordingly, they are going to go bust. That is why we need a medium of exchange that is divisible, that is not controlled by anyone, that is completely neutral, that is a commodity, Roger, you absolute fool.
You can do all of it with a centralized, fully legal and fully compliant payment platform, right? So go use PayPal. I think you've missed the entire point. The entire point of cryptocurrencies is that by technological design, they are beyond the reach of the law.
Wrong.
They're above the law. That's why, imagine if Bitcoin could have been shut down by governments, they probably would have shut it down from right out of the gate.
It's not that it couldn't be shut down, Roger. It's the fact that the government didn't have an excuse to shut it down because it serves a really good purpose, which is data sovereignty. Efficiencies in data security, data management, data storage. It is the world's largest, most efficient big data storage network in the world. It is not a crime syndicate, a criminal utopia. You have absolute contempt for you, just so dumb and stupid and foolish. Said my piece.
And it's the fact that Bitcoin can't be shut down. We should ask the BSVers this. If they pass a law saying BSV needs to shut down their blockchain, are they going to obey and shut down their BSV blockchain?
Yes, because if they are a truly democratic government, as in like elected by the people, they are meant to fulfill the will of the people. If the majority of people want blockchain technology for data storage and efficiencies, the government has no right to take it down. In fact, if you want to go and smoke dope and any of that shit like that, you can go over to Amsterdam. If you want to smoke crack in your own home and take drugs and engage in child abuse and human trafficking and all the abhorrent behaviours that you seem to be promoting, create your own country. Create your own laws. See how long you last.
I hope the answer would be no, which is just, a lot of the stuff I see from some of these BSVers are silly.
Oh, Roger, you're so silly.
But then there's other BSV fans that, I'm very, very sympathetic to their way of thinking. But the ones that say that the blockchains all need to be legally compliant about everything all the time, just go use your Visa card.
Unbelievable, but believable from a shitcoiner with shit for brains. Ridiculous. So if you wonder why I call it B-Crash, because it's an absolute piece of shit, it's because Roger calls it that himself. Have a listen.
And we're going to really spread Bitcoin Crash across the entire country here in Antigua.
Good luck with that one, Roger. Oh my god. So we're just going to have a... in fact, yeah, I mean, let's get into it, Let's listen to Satoshi Nakamoto describing Bitcoin, power, and money. So this is again for any newbies. This is fascinating. Here we go.
This is what it all comes down to. See, what people don't understand is Bitcoin with a stable protocol takes away power. If no one can change the protocol, not me, not God, there's no power in money. Money is all about power. And this is one of the things Bitcoin has done. It has removed that power. It will remove that power globally.
There we go. It will remove that power globally. It will take power out of the hands of central banks and dirty unelected governments. That's what it's all about. The sort of thing that William Wallace would be fighting for. Thank you very much, J Paps. Dear oh dear, I should have got that one. Great stuff. 18 listening here. All right, gonna have a detailed show then. So great stuff. There we go. Bitcoin removes power. BTC has put hands in the power of Blockstream. BCH has put B-Crash in the hands of Roger Ver and his crony mates. And yet Bitcoin, the genuine Bitcoin, where all the users and developers on the network are held accountable, whose centralized starting point has been diluted over a period of 11 years from the 3rd of January 2009 to the 1st of January 2020. This is Bitcoin, the neutral growth of the network that no one can dispute. This is why the white paper was released on the 31st of October 2008, and yet the network wasn't started until the 3rd of January 2009, because it is a reasonable amount of time. 2 months in UK law is considered reasonable. Now, because Satoshi Nakamoto created it, it was his responsibility to provide it those 2 months. So he left it 2 months and 4 days. And then not only did he leave it 10 years, it was actually almost 11. So it was from the 3rd of January 2009 to the 1st of January 2020, which is 10 years, 362 days, approximately. That was, to give it a name, although that was the period of decentralization and distribution and dilution, I call that the tulip period, because that's what the Tulip Trust was created for, because he knew that during that period somebody would try to take control of Bitcoin because it could be done. The reason it could be done is because it wasn't centrally controlled. If it had a central point of authority or control, it would be fundamentally worthless. So CSW knew that these criminal, no good, nefarious forces would try and do exactly as they have done. And so the Tulip Trust was Bitcoin's insurance policy against it. It will be used to absolutely tank all the shitcoins to zero. Because that Tulip Trust has all the forks on it. It is full of the true Bitcoin that follows the protocol from start to finish. But it also has BTC and BCH and Bitcoin Gold and Bitcoin Diamond and Bitcoin Platinum and all these shits. They will be tanked to zero. Absolutely. And all that value will come into Bitcoin, the genuine Bitcoin, which is Bitcoin SV for Satoshi's vision. Satoshi Nakamoto had a vision. That vision was Bitcoin. Bitcoin is Satoshi's vision. Bitcoin is BSV. That is how it works. Oh yes, very excited about that. Right, so let's have a quick look at the shitcoin market. Oh, I'll tell you what, I should send that image to myself actually, to be honest with you. Saves scrolling all the way through Twitter, doesn't it? Here we go, the coin crap market, bring it on, here we go. Because we got, might be like record numbers, like tuning into the show, do you know what I mean? Got to give it a good one. So before we start on this, let's remind ourselves, what is it that shitcoiners say?
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey.
So I'm going to talk about those shitcoiners, yeah, that do all this trading and shit because, like, oh my goodness me, like, you will lose everything if you have your money on an exchange and the exchange goes bust because they run out of liquidity because people are trying to get rid of their shitcoins. That is what's going to happen. Now, you'll see, I mean, this, I don't know if you can see, but on this, I've put a coffin here, which tells you the future of that coin. Dead, 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 dead. They are all dead because they are all shitcoins. Now, the only one that has, is a commodity. And again, people know how much I detest Charlie Lee and Litecoin, but I have to be honest, it is a commodity. But even though it's a commodity, Charlie Lee discredits it because everybody knows he started it. That is the point that discredits it. He hasn't solved the paradox of the centralized starting point, which took CSW 11 years to do. Well, 10 years, 362 days more precisely, to do. So for anybody who doesn't believe me that Charlie Lee created it and then just used it as a complete exit scam because he knew it had no credibility, which means he knew it was basically an effing joke, we'll just let Charlie explain this himself, followed by Mike Novogratz telling you exactly what Charlie Lee did. Take the floor, boys. Here we go.
You created Litecoin, right? So this has to be something like you're incredibly passionate about.
Yeah, as most of you probably know, I kind of created it just for fun, right? Didn't really expect it to become anything.
And I just remember the guy that founded Litecoin sold it all on the top. And I was like, dude, not great as the founder to unload everything literally on the high tick. Great as a speculator, but not as a community builder.
Great as a shitcoiner and not as a community builder. Because that is what shitcoiners do. And that is what dirty traders do. They shit on each other. It's absolutely disgusting. And talking about that, I was watching a program on Mt. Gox earlier. And Jeb McCaleb, who initially founded Mt. Gox before he sold it to Mark Capellas, who absolutely effed it up royally. When he decided to sell Mt. Gox, guess what he did? He moved on to other projects. He was the founder of XRP and then moved on to Stellar. So he was responsible for creating these utter shitcoins, these pre-mined coins that have absolutely no credibility as money whatsoever. So again, intelligent techie, fundamentally stupid. No understanding of the concept. Capable, but not capable of understanding, for true understanding, which is what the people who listen to my show have, because that is what I explain, because that's what took me years to understand. And for my tiny little brain, that's enough. It's just right, it's taken me this long to understand it. I need to now start explaining this to other people so they really know what this means. But let's have a listen to Satoshi Nakamoto's, as in Craig writes, own expectation of his own project. When you consider the amount that went into it, he was a millionaire by the age he was 30. I think it was 20 million. And that 20 million, he actually went into the red. And this was before Bitcoin, before the network had started. So he had already invested over 20 million and was facing bankruptcy before the network had even started. In fact, when the Tulip Trust was created on the 9th of June, Thursday the 9th of June, it says in there that Craig Wright is aware that he's facing bankruptcy. So in actual fact, let's just remind ourselves of that fact one more time. Here we go. Tulip Trust red, as in like redacted. Tulip Trust red. That's the one. That's the one. Here we go. It's in here somewhere. Let's enlarge that to the max. Here we go. I think it might be on the second page. Here we go. Where was it? Maybe on the first page. Here we go. Oh, look. Dr. Wright has noted that he is facing bankruptcy due to the following, and that he understands that moving assets at value in a manner that he cannot access may be a breach of Australian law if he fails to provide information on these assets. This would be in the event of an insolvency. And that was when the value of the 1.1 million Bitcoin was only at $100,000. But this is how confident he was in his own creation. So let's read down here. So it says here, where was it? I was actually just below that bit. So Dr. Wright has noted that he has agreed to forego other assets to maintain these assets, which is the Bitcoin, and has agreed with his wife, Miss Lynn Wright, that he will maintain the Bitcoin at the expense of all other assets he may have a right to. So literally, he's just like, look, take anything you want. Take it all, but just leave my Bitcoin. I will have that. That is how much confidence he had in his own creation, which in turn gives me confidence in that creation, like hugely. I always remind myself of this, you know. This was a guy who actually created it, who had that much confidence in it. I mean, it's huge. And we can see down the bottom, it's got like Gizmodo. So it was Gizmodo and Wired magazine that released their articles on the same day that the Australian tax authorities raided his house, where they outed him. I think it was May 2015. You know, where he had to do a runner. And again, this has been written about in the Satoshi affair. But yeah, absolutely fascinating. So let's have a listen to CSW describing his own expectations for Bitcoin and what we need to do in order to get it going. Take the floor, CSW.
At the end of the day, we own a lot of Bitcoin. The simple thing is, if we make the network scale, we make it bigger, my main compensation, more than anything anyone could ever pay me, is the price of Bitcoin goes up. So that's my pure drive. I want Bitcoin not to go up to 10,000 or 100,000. I want it to be worth millions per Bitcoin. That's it. And that's what we spend money for. Very simple.
There we go. He wants it to be worth millions. Charlie Lee sold out at $95, $155, and finally $350 per Litecoin. Now here we have CSW saying, actually, I want Bitcoin to be worth millions. And all we have to do is make it bigger, make it scale, and that's what they spend money for. They invest it. They don't do an exit scam like Charlie Lee and Charles Hoskinson and all these other shitcoiners that don't have a clue. And even today, I still see these shitcoiners going, oh yeah, how to retire, with Ethereum. Well, he basically suggesting that people should just buy it. Yeah, but it doesn't do anything. Number go up, number comes straight back down because no utility. Like, honestly, how can anybody use BTC when they do replace by fee, and how can anyone use Ethereum when gas prices are so high and it's proof of stake? which means there is no competition in the system. And without competition in the system, it cannot ever be truly decentralized, because you need competition between the parties who maintain the network in order for it to be truly decentralized, which means you can only ever really have a truly decentralized system in a capitalist society. Because if something is free, it's not really free. So people might be thinking, oh yeah, you know, Facebook is free and Twitter is free. Well, if Facebook is free and Twitter is free, how are they being financed? They are being financed because you are giving them your data. And then they are then selling that data to advertisers who bombard you with shit because they read all of the stuff. None of your information that you post on these social media platforms is anonymous or private. It is used against you to sell. And then not only do they sell it, they get you hooked on it because you use it more and more. You build relationships using the platform. You build your business on the platform. And then all of a sudden it's just like, well, if you want to continue using this platform, you have to comply to our way of thinking. And our political way of thinking is X, Y, and Z. And if you don't agree with us, we're just simply going to delete your platform. And you've spent years on it, giving us all your data. Think of all the relationships that are going to break down if you do not follow what we require and ask of you. That's where they have you over a barrel. That's what's really dangerous. So it's not really free because you are giving up your sovereignty. Because you have to comply and agree with the platform that you're giving all your data to, or they will just simply use it to blackmail you. That is how social media works. It is not free. Don't be thinking that it's free. If you want your own data, you just simply pay to have it uploaded to a truly decentralized platform. Therefore, you have sovereignty over that data. But yes, it costs a little bit of money. But the more people who use it, the cheaper the transactions become. So you may as well encourage everyone else to start using it. Say, look, that social media where they've got you over a barrel, and if you don't agree with their political way of thinking, they're going to delete your family photos and wedding videos. Ooh, you know, best upload them onto the Bitcoin blockchain, where they'll be stored forever immutably, you know, as a universal source of truth that you actually existed. And you do that using Bitcoin. All right, well, where do I get that from? Well, Toshi has very kindly put up a website called buybsv.live. Go on there, get yourself some, post it up, upload it onto the blockchain. Get your friends to do it, because if your friends do it, it becomes cheaper. And not only does it become cheaper, the Bitcoin that you're holding goes up in value. Great stuff. It's absolutely phenomenal system. Right, so now that's done. Let's have a quick look at these figures on Valentine's Day, showing us a little bit of love. What is going on? Okay, this is interesting. So, according to CoinDance, Bitcoin is worth $259, but looking at the top left hand of my screen, according to Prev, it's actually $274. So I think what they call it, is that what they call arbitrage? You know, where somebody can make a difference between the quoted prices. So are you saying that I could sell Bitcoin for $274 somewhere and then buy it back somewhere else for $259? Sweet. Might have to look into that. Don't know where these different people get their prices from, but anywho. Right, so let's see what the hash rate is looking like. Does this add up to 100% now? 98.6, which leaves 1.4. So B Crash got 1.1 and BSV at 0.4. Okay, 0.4%. Network nodes 2.5%. Transactions 42.4. Get in there, winning. And block size winning 55.6. Right, just for shits and giggles, we'll have the biggest. We'll have a look for the biggest block on B Crash. Got 4.8, 5.3. Well done them. What a total waste. And 5.8. Yeah, that's pretty good for B Crash. And Michael Saylor, if you are ever on the lookout for your big blocks, let's see if we can find some here, can we? Oh no, I think I saw a 1.5 megabyte. Is that it? Is that it? Oh dear, oh dear. 1.5, yeah, well, 1.56. Look, absolutely pathetic. A 1.56 block, and let's just remind ourselves of these images. Like, check it out. There we go. So this is what I call the BSV Bliss image that was uploaded to the Bitcoin blockchain. And this image alone was 6 megabytes. 6 megabytes in one transaction. And that was just in one transaction. Compare that to the BTC chain, the Corecoin chain. Absolute pile of shit. Where they can't, where the most they can get is like 1.5 megabytes in a block. This was 6 megabytes in one transaction. And then after that, there was this one literally on the same day. Check it out. This was the deep space field. And this image was 10 megabytes. 10 megabytes in a single transaction on the Bitcoin network. And remember, as we heard in the intro there, that N-Chain have actually tested transactions up to 20 megabytes. Ones that can run operating systems on a single transaction. All that data in it. I mean, it just goes to show you how utterly shit those utter shit coins are. Ridiculous. All right, let's play spot the biggest block on Bitcoin. What have we got here? Look at this. 36 megabytes mined by Tal. 14 mined by Tal. We're just going to have a quick keep an eye on who's mined what here. So we've got Hathor, Tal, Hathor, via BT. I finally found out who via BTC is. We'll look at that in just a minute. Hathor on there. Tal there. No Huobi? What is going on? What is going on? But anyway, just before we get down there, look what I found earlier today. I mean, this cracked me up. It was this one. Look at this goon. Hypo Yang. I was just like, I know this guy. And he's flying the B Crash flag. I mean, literally, he doesn't even know how embarrassing it is. Like, but then I looked at this. Founder and CEO of Via BTC. So even though he's a big blocker, he's a shitcoin crasher. A shitcoin crasher. And he doesn't even know it. But that's who Via BTC is, which is why they're mining the small to medium sized blocks. You know, total shitcoiner. Total shitcoiner. But yeah, that's Via BTC there in the orange. But right, we'll have to look to see what's going on with Huobi when we get to the bottom there. Hash rate. Silver and Kuter in the house as well. Have we got any more people? Any more than 18 watching? Did we have like 22 the other day? I'll just spend a bit more time explaining things. So again, I'll get this right. Hash rate by network. Again, hash rate follows price, follows value, follows utility. When it has utility, it can create value. After it creates value, it can develop a price. When it develops a price, it can then be used as a measurement against the cost of other goods and services and used as a medium of exchange. There we go. Got it. Proof of work by network. Corecoin B Crash will stop overnight. B Crash versus Bitcoin hash rate. B Crash versus Bitcoin proof of work. There we go. Check it out. It is 70,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than those other shit coins. It's actually 0.3% more profitable to mine on Bitcoin than Corecoin. Daily average Bitcoin block size by network. Bitcoin winning. Transactions by network. Transactions though. Just have a look at the numbers. Transactions. Oh yeah, over 24 hours. I'm guessing that is. But according to this chart, just Corecoin is just winning. Transactions per block by network. Yeah. Daily average Bitcoin fees by network USD. Bitcoin smashing it. Fees Satoshis. Bitcoin smashing it. Block reward ratio again comes with time. Follows price. Follows value. Follows utility. Daily accumulated Bitcoin blockchain growth by network. Laughing at Bcrush there. Absolutely hilarious. And here we have the hash rate. This is the politics. So 7 days. Yeah. Not really all that important. 24 hours. Poolin and Ampool turning it up, pushing F2 Pool down into third. BTC.com in fourth. Binance in fifth. All right. Now that's probably going to mirror CoreCoin. Oh, very similar. I wonder where Poolin's have got their other hash rate then. So according to CoreCoin, Poolin's in third. BTC.com in fourth. Antpool macking it hard, jumping up into first place. Wow. Wow. Now let's look at the TAL. Is TAL on there? No, it is not. The TAL tells you a lot. In fact, tells you all you need to know, really. Look at this. Absolutely outrageously hilarious. Disgusting. BTC top and Antpool on B crash. Absolutely hilarious. An absolute bag of shit. Total waste of time. Pure ridiculous ideology. You know, all these people basically support, you know, child abuse, human trafficking, drug dealing, gun running, all the shit. So just remember that. Just remember that. And here we have Bitcoin. Wow. Hathor taking those blocks away from Huobi. Tal mining the big blocks. But look, via BTC on there. You know, now that I know that they're a shitcoin crasher, I don't want them off, to be honest with you. You know, but I mean, they're just hedging their bets. Mempool, Norpool, we've got BTC.com in there. That's Jihan for whatever reason. F2 Pool, no pooling though, but interesting. You know, keep your eyes on that because that tells you everything. Everything. Right, let's have a look at the blockchain working live in front of our eyes. Let's see what's going on today. So again, we'll cross-reference this with the scaling test network stats. Here we go. Again, for any newbies who haven't seen this before, remember highest transactions per second. It has done 3,987 transactions per second on its main net. And the scaling test network, which runs parallel to it, has done 9,232 transactions per second in comparison to what we're looking at now, which is 4.48. But these transactions being recognized by the nodes on the network, represented by the vertical rectangular blocks going along the screen there. Once those transactions are recognized by 50% of the nodes on the network, the transaction is irreversible. Despite what all these shitcoiners want to tell you, because they're talking about replaced by fee and all that bollocks. This is how Bitcoin works. 50% of the nodes pick up the transaction instantly because it's a small world network, like a mandala network. And we can see the transaction generators down here. To the right, we've got the transaction ID, the input, the output, the type and the op return. And if we randomly click on the transaction ID, it will take us to what's on chain and tell us all about it. Boom! Randomly got that one. Here we go. So that transaction ID brought up this. So we have we can download this to see if we want. This is the hash number of that transaction. And remember, it's made up of numbers and letters. Which means, yeah, there are basically like more hash numbers than there are atoms in the universe. It's just huge. So we have the size of the transaction, the fee that was paid, the rate, and it tells us input 1 and output. So again, literally, we cannot see the data that is in that transaction. We have only got evidence of the transaction, and that person who received it can prove that they've received it, and they can prove who sent it to them. That's the whole point. But third parties like ourselves have no idea what's included in it. That is privacy. That is what allows legal recourse. That is what is really important about it. And that's the shit that they like to delete on these shitcoins. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So once the transactions are recognized by the nodes on the network, they're then thrown into the meme pool, where they are competed for by the miners and payment processors to create a block, store them in a block, and then put the block on the blockchain, where they will then win the block reward, which is the Coinbase of currently 6.25 Bitcoin. So as you can see here, we have a 36.35 megabyte block. In the highlighted rectangular box below, we've got the hash number of that block, the height, who it was mined by, size, date, time, the transaction count, and the fees in the block. So the fees in that block were £23.25. So the miner gets the fees on top of the block reward. And as we here know in Bitcoin, we know that the fees are anticipated to surpass the block reward in the Q1 2021. Here it is. Lovely image. Look at this. This is what is anticipated. This is why Tal has been given a it would have been a $7 million loan in two parts from CSW International. So they can hugely expand their mining operation in order to compete with all the shitcoin enterprises that will be jumping on it very soon. And as we know, in the let me think, yeah, the 2.9 gigabyte block that was mined on the scaling test network with 16.4 million transactions had fees of 32 Bitcoin. Now, compare 32 Bitcoin to the block reward, which was 6.25. That is why all these miners, because miners don't play a role politically, all they do is search for profits. That's it. So imagine when the huge volume of transaction comes on chain and the fees in the block are absolutely massive. In fact, let's actually work that out in comparison to BTC. Just going to do some calculations here on my phone. So yeah, what 32 multiplied by what? $260. $260. Oh, so that's $8,300. Okay, I mean a little bit of a kind of way off BTC at the moment. So BTC, you got 6.25 multiplied by what? 48 grand. So currently the miners on BTC get the equivalent to $300,000 per block. But again, when knowledge catches up with speculation, the speculative price will soon match its fundamental value at zero. Gonna get nothing. That's what's going to happen. So miners, this is why Tal needs to massively compete and really quickly for when that happens. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely mega. Again, for any newbies, just going to have a look at BitInfo charts here. This is absolutely hilarious. You've got all of these shitcoins across the top with various different metrics. If you look on charts here, again, you've just got different metrics you can compare if you're interested in them. As an investor, just like to keep an eye on things personally. You have the rich list up here, so you've got all these shitcoins, but Bitcoin is in there as well. And you can see the number of Bitcoin and shitcoin in the relative wallets, so you can see where you rank in the scheme of things. But we go to BitInfo charts here. The blue tabs on the left-hand side, we'll go to average transactions. Sent 24 hours. I would do just average transactions. This is the best one. 3 years, and a log, because we're really only interested in Bitcoin, which is BSV. Look at that. Look at that. So from right down here, so 15th of November 2018 to October, or should we say a year, 12 months, it had already surpassed transactions on CoreCoin, because this is Bitcoin. And anybody with any level of intelligence is going to say one look at that and go, whoa, hold on, what's that? Well, that's Bitcoin, because Bitcoin can do that in comparison to these shit coins. So anyway, I think we'll leave it there for the YouTube show. Whoa, 53 minutes. Just been looking at the time already. Jeepers. So anyway, yeah, let's have a quick look at this article. I did a news flash on this earlier, so we don't actually need to go through this. But just sure, I posted. Somebody posted it. I know I posted it on some. I posted it to myself. Here we go. Cano, thank you for doing this. This was the full article in the Times newspaper today. Check it out. So it said, yeah, Sunday Times, Craig Wright says that I invented Bitcoin. Now it's a Ponzi scheme. Now, if you ask me, I think CSW has done this interview and planned this to be released on Valentine's Day, you know, as a way of showing some love, some last minute love to these shitcoiners. It's just like, look, you know, how many times do I have to tell you? How many times do I have to warn you? You can lose everything. As we heard from warnings from the Financial Conduct Authority, the SEC, the New Zealand Financial Conduct Authority, whatever it is over there. All these regulators saying, look, it can go to zero. Read between the lines. He's basically saying that is where it's going to go. It has no value whatsoever. So that's why I think CSW has put this in here. It's not meant to be speculative. The only reason it turned into a speculative pump and dump fest is, like I said, the period of decentralization and dilution was from the beginning of the network on the 3rd of January 2009 until the 1st of January 2020. So, which is when the keys were returned to him, because he always planned to add value to the network and give it credibility by outing himself. But then you have to ask yourself, well, why? Well, it's in order to give Bitcoin its fundamental value, in order to solve the paradox of the centralized starting point, the neutral growth. As Gavin Andresen said, he was extremely cautious about protecting his identity. And in fact, we're just going to have a look at a few videos of that right now. Let me see if I can bring that up. Oh yeah, but just quickly, just wanted to bring this up on Twitch for any like newbies who are watching this for the first time potentially. This is the idea of owning your data. This is the sort of thing that you can do. So if I go to followers here, I think this is Rita's mum, Bev. Just going to have a look at her profile here. Check it out. So just recently joined the first Twitch yesterday. But look at this. She's posted a picture of Harry. Her pet parrot? Parakeet, whatever it is. Need to get up to date on my birds, but that image there with a picture probably would have cost around maybe 7 cents to upload, and yet look, 7 likes, and let me think. So from each like, I think you maybe get 6 cents per like, or maybe 5. And somebody has paid to also branch it as well. But that's, so let's say it's 5 cents per like, multiplied by 7, 7 5s are 35. That's 35, yeah, 35 cents. So she's earned 35 cents from a picture that cost 7 cents to upload. That is what Bitcoin is all about. That's return on your money. You might be going, oh, it's only 35 cents. But if it's only 35 cents, you won't mind paying 7 cents to use it then, in order to make sure that you are not put over a barrel and strapped to it by these social media platforms who always have political agendas behind them, who always have, you know, that power that sits behind the chairman of the Federal Reserve, you know, with clutches into people saying, look, mate, you want to listen to us, or else you'll be vanished, or else you'll be, you know, we're going to do to you what we did to JFK and what we tried to do to Ronald Reagan and all that kind of stuff, you know? Whereas now we have a network that stores your data that doesn't have a central point of authority or control. It's purely run by the people. It is data sovereignty. That's why everybody needs to use it, and they will use it, which is why we need to stop these shitcoiners from putting patents on their shitcoin chains, because their shitcoin chains are private enterprise chains. It's like Twitter, you know, saying, all right, we're going to patent this, so you basically have to use our centralized platform now. You want the patents on the public blockchain so that shitcoiners can't stop you from using it. That's the whole point. But I mean, this is a great example of you know, capitalism. You know, and if you do post a picture on there that people don't like, well, just don't post shit. It encourages quality content. That is what it's all about. And after number go up, we'll just have a quick look at my profile. Oh, look at that. Check it out. Earned $80. $80. Let's see that. So just under, about a quarter of a Bitcoin. I mean, if I can get it up to a Bitcoin, that'd be absolutely great. But I mean, a quarter of a Bitcoin. If Bitcoin gets to $1 million, which I think it might do in about 3 years, maybe less, you know, that's $250,000. Which is pretty good. Which is a pretty good return. You know, that's the whole point. Honestly, these shitcoiners are going to be absolutely pissed when they realise that the genuine Bitcoin has been lurking around since the 15th of November 2018, and they could have been buying it and filling their bags all this time. But instead, yeah, they've been shitcoining, pumping and dumping, devaluing their own investment because they're shitcoiners with shit for brains. You know, so in fact, let me just bring up this image here. This was actually put out there by a shitcoiner, and an XRP shitcoiner of all things. But we're just going to read through this because it's just really important to kind of get your head around as to what is actually likely to happen. Let me just see if I can find it in my library of images here. Oh, got it. Check it out. Here we go. Hey. Right, yeah. So, yeah, just remind ourselves, look at this. So we're talking about, you know, Tether and everything else. So this is what really happened. iPhoneX is ordered to cease and desist. iPhoneX assets are frozen. USD trade is stopped / frozen. There now exists no USDT in the Bitcoin trade, and there is a massive freeze on traders' capital held in USDT. Bitcoin Core Coin must go through other stablecoins, but there are only a few $1 billion worth of stablecoins. To further worsen the situation, holders of other stablecoins cash out to dollars out of fear that Tether problem will spread to other stablecoins. We have a liquidity price crisis. There are many sellers but hardly any buyers. The price for BTC and other crypto collapses as $500 billion worth of shitcoins compete for a few $1 billion worth of stablecoins. In a matter of hours, the price has collapsed with 50%. Crypto exchanges closed trade in order to prevent systemic dollar outflow. It turns out many of the exchanges have no liquidity. They've stolen money from customers' accounts. Upset shitcoiners fill Reddit, 4chan and other social media. Why is this happening? Mass suicides follow as news reaches them that the exchanges are insolvent and have been ransacked. All this time, these unregulated exchanges siphoned money from customers. Head offices of exchanges are raided. It turns out that they, like Bitfinex, don't exist on the address stated. They were only so-called shell companies. Yes, this is true. Bitfinex is supposed to be headquartered in Hong Kong, but when searched for, their offices there are no office to be found. It's a shell. The exchanges had their accounts frozen by authorities. We have another Mt. Gox, only far worse. Big headlines in the media. Your work colleagues know you bought crypto and feel so sorry and embarrassed for you that they're afraid to ask how things are. But you can tell from the look in their eyes the sense of pity they feel for you. You drink to soften your sorrow, but there is no escape from the harsh reality. You lost everything. You were the fool. We tried to save you, but you didn't let us. Oh dear. This is seriously what's coming. Like, you know, they know this, but I mean, they don't know this actually going to happen to themselves. But that's actually like the reality. So you need to get your coins off exchanges. If the exchange goes bust, you lose everything. And we're just going to have a quick look at this video that I posted on my profile earlier today of the guy that lost everything in Mt. Gox. And I said, don't be this guy. Look at this. I said, don't be this guy. Get your coins off exchanges. This is a famous clip filmed by our man on the ground in Japan, John Southwest. I'd seen this clip many times, and I didn't realise it was John that actually filmed it. But yeah, I mean, check this guy out. he flew all the way from Scotland to Japan just to confront Mark Capellis. So we're gonna watch this clip now. Right, here we go. Check it out. Ruth Eastman on Bitstocks got on there before me. Nice one. I'm gonna go and watch that now while I'm eating my packets of crisps. Right, there we go, peeps. That'll do for today. Hope you enjoyed the show. I thoroughly enjoyed myself on that one. So as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, joy giving, same time tomorrow. Catch you guys later. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and watch the full episode on Streamanity for just 20 cents. Go to www.satoshi.tv. See the link in the description below. Bitcoin, one world, one chain.
Yeah! One vision.